Well, good afternoon and a warm welcome to a beautiful Saturday here at Bears Best in Cheongna for day 3 coverage of the 7th Hana Financial Group Championship. The cut line came at 5 over par at the end of play Friday evening. Defending champion Mada Som sadly missing out on weekend action at 8 over, but 64 players continued on to the weekend where Park Hye-jun takes a narrow one-shot advantage into the closing 36 holes. This is what they're playing for this week. 270 million Korean won up top, a huge chunk of that 1.5 billion Korean won prize purse. I'm Timothy Lowe, and these are the groups that we'll be keeping an eye on this afternoon. Hong Jin-young in the company of Koo Rae-hyun and the number 1 player on the points list, Yoo Hyun-jo. Just behind them, Lee Seong-yeon, who suffered a late double bogey at the end of her round yesterday. She's alongside Song Eun-ah and Han Sun-ju. So Yeon-jung playing with Hwang Min-jung, who needs a good week this week to retain her tour card, playing with the 2023 champion Lee Da-yeon. And then this is your final 3 ball. Sung Yoo-jin returning to full-time KLPGA Tour action. Min-ji Lee, who's come close to this championship on a number of occasions, but they're all chasing Park Hye-jun, who won at this very venue just 3 months ago at the Lotte Open. Sung Yoo-jin has also won the Lotte Open in the past, back in 2022. Third shot now to the 8th, coming up a little shy of this par 4, but making a good fist of things there. 7 straight pars to start her 3rd round. Yoo-jin lost her card on the LPGA Tour at the end of 2024, so now back playing full-time domestically in South Korea. Song, touted teenage amateur sensation. Up here on 11, tracking nicely, and in it goes. Just turned pro a couple of months ago. The KLPGA Tour majors last season. Quite the achievement for the youngster. In the professional game. Back to Park Hye-jun, who actually got the lead up to a whopping 3 shots after a birdie at the 4th, but she's dropped shots on 6 and 7. This would steady the ship. A chance on 8 for birdie. And it goes. A little up and down on this front 9 for Park, but it's back to 2. Par 5 9th, the second shot of So Yeon-jung, who's got herself into a share of 2nd with a birdie at the 8th. Debate here going on with the rules official. What the situation could be, perhaps she determining whether her ball's lying in a closely known area and is entitled to lift clean in place. I don't see any sprinkler heads nearby. For Min-ji in 2021 and 2023 in this Hana Financial Group Championship, both of them playoff losses. 2021 to Song Ga-eun at Pocheon Adonis Golf Club, and 2 years ago to this lady, Lee Da-yeon, looking to become the first ever multiple-time winner of the Hana Financial Group Championship. Finds herself at 3 under par after an early birdie at the 2nd. Can she get it to the front edge of the green here at 9? See that ball still picking up a lot of mud. We had huge rainstorms over the first couple of days in the practice rounds, and sort of persistent bit of precipitation pelted the golf course on Friday, but the skies are cleared and it's a beautiful day for sun golf here in the land of morning calm. Park Bo-kyung is headed in the wrong direction today, but that should help her cause a little bit. The season opening event in Thailand this year, the Blue Canyon Ladies Championship for her third KLPGA Tour title. Next back for Park head to 3 under par. The late stages of the opening round before a couple of bogeys. Birdie, she goes back to 3 under. It looks like it's back in play for Min Ji Lee, and I suspect it might just be lined up against that seam cut behind her. So getting to the back of the ball cleanly could be a bit of an issue for Min Ji. She had the wedge out. I think maybe a bellied wedge where you sort of hover the leading edge, try and just strike the equator of the golf ball to have it running out like a putt would be the better option. She's got putter now. She's got one of those Odyssey number 7 looking putters, so the prongs on the back of the blade could easily wedge into the grass behind her. She takes a backswing, so she's gone back to the wedge. That's not practice swing. It's not telling me she's trying to belly down. It looks like she's trying to stab down on the back of the ball, almost like a little Thai spinner. She's only 15 feet away, 18 feet away from the hole. But she's given this one plenty of thought. Takes a good amount of confidence to hit a shot of that length that hard. But she is a world-class player, Min Ji Lee, KPMG, PGA Championship winner, 3 major titles for the Australian. It's a big weekend for a number of players. This is one of them. Song Eun-ah had a fantastic round of 70 yesterday. Get into the weekend at even par, and it's a really nice putt. That takes her to red figures. 70th on the money list coming into the week, making only a 16th cut of the season this week. Good stuff there from Song. It's Min Ji. Just looks to clean up for her par at 8. An early bogey at the first, recovered that with a birdie at 6. So she began the weekend 4 under, trailing by 2. Sawyer Jung, lone victory on the KLPGA Tour coming 2 years ago. KGE Daily Ladies Open. She fired a second round 63, although that is a very poor third shot, and that is a unpleasant putt that she's left herself up ahead on the green. Professional victories on tour. The Korean Women's Open, the Hana Classic, and here at the Hana Financial Group Championship. No stranger to the big moments. It's a quality shot. Park Hyun-kyung has had an excellent day at the office. Two-time KLPGA Championship winner, 5 under par for her round, 7 birdies on the day, including one back on 15. A tee shot at the par 3 16th. should continue to release on a little bit. Round of the week thus far, 68 recorded by Minji Lee and Sung Yu Jin on Friday. Yin Kyung on pace to better that as we go back to the 9th tee with the championship leader.
Okay, shot.
The sea players getting too much run on these soggy fairways. Fair play to the maintenance crew here at Bears Best Cheongna to get this course in the shape that it's in after all the struggles of a unexpectedly hot Korean summer and the deluge of rain we had over the first couple of days of this week. Has been very impressive stuff, so very well done to all involved here at Bears Best. Two times a winner on Tour Sung Yu Jin, the Multi Championship and the Tucson Match Play Championship in 2023. Now Minji, I have to say she is the real threat on the first page of the leaderboard. Finds herself in contention at this championship once again. The other big name headliner coming into the week, Hall of Famer Lydia Co. Unfortunately, the Kiwi 1 over par for her round today, 3 over for the championship, sitting in a share of 32nd. Minji very much contending for a championship she would so dearly love to win. Hyun-ju making it 4 players at 4 under par. Last year's Rookie of the Year on the KLPGA Tour successfully defended her title at the KB Financial Group Star Championship in Incheon 3 weeks ago. The first player to successfully defend the KLPGA Tour major since Park Hyun-kyung did so at the KLPGA Championship 2021. A lengthy one coming up a pretty steep slope that will want to scoop this ball off to the right. Got to be committed with your pace. She wasn't. It's going to keep on tailing off. Okay. All in all, not a bad putt. It's always going to be tricky to get one stone dead from back there. Can she add another to the birdie tally? This is an opportunity on 16. That looks good if only she hit it with a little more speed. I said at the end of the show yesterday, just feel that Lee Dae-yeon was due a big move on Saturday. She's played tremendously consistent golf throughout this front 9. Just given herself a look on the 9th to the group at 4 under par. Still needs to start this outside the left edge of the cup though. Another one drops. Lee Dae-yeon makes it a quintet at 4 under. The quality lining up behind Park Hye-jun right now. Lady who leads the points list coming into the week. A former winner of this event in Lee Dae-yeon, a major champion, a multiple major champion in that. Minji Lee, and there's of course, So Yun-jung, who's got this for par at 9. From this angle, don't think she needs to aim this one outside the cup. Just got to be hit with good committed speed. It's a really good two-putt. That keeps So Yun-jung within 2 shots. Fairway is the lady they're all chasing. I think she can get to the green in 2, but certainly give herself a short pitch in. Discussed it with that, hitting right. It's going to be touch and go, whether that's in the fairway, and she'll be able to left clean and place that. As long as some part of the ball is touching the fairway, it is deemed to be in the closely worn area, but you want to be coming into these hole locations with as much control as you can, because some of them are really tough, particularly on the back 9. Huge in from that left rough, not too much of a bother when it's just a simple layup. Wasting little time here. Brother Minwoo himself in contention at the halfway stage of the DP World Tours event in France this week. These siblings definitely looking for a brother-sister double. Out to the back 9 and Hyo Song for birdie. Can't quite get it to drop. The 12th hole has been formidable all week long, as it usually is, so par certainly not a bad score. So Hyunju on 11, just found that left rough. Out of the sand. Consider it to a front hole location, that's pretty good. Closely worn area or not. Perhaps we should try to work out whether the ball was in a pitch mark. It's one of those strange rules of golf where your ball ends up in its own pitch mark, you are entitled to free relief under the embedded ball rule, but if it happens to roll to someone else's pitch mark, you're not. I've always found very curious. Anyway, what's done is done. We can see what Sung Jin do coming into this 5 9th hole. Kick off that little slope, and that's a beautifully manufactured shot by Sung Jin. Song Yi, two-time KLPGA Tour winner, finds herself at 1 under par. Almost got it to 2 under. She's just so efficient with these clubs, the 29-year-old. Such a stable club face through impact, and it's another beautiful approach for Minji. See this hourglass-shaped green, par 5 ninth. Cut right at that bottleneck on the right-hand side. So you certainly don't want to fan this one out. Give yourself short-sided. Just trying to punch one in there low. That's an excellent response. Beautiful approaches into the 9th from this final group. 3. Excellent birdie looks to come. I have to say none better though than Sun Yu-jin. Slope to perfection, just funneling that ball down to close range. 25 years of age now. Still in that man. Son Jung. Just turned 30. There we go. Fixture on the KLPGA Tour since turning pro a dozen years ago. Speed on that, test her too much. What he expected her to do and feature again. The venue which she holds so dear to her heart. Starts on tour. 4 of them top 3s. Comes into the heat with a good amount of form, despite that miscut. Club 72 last week. Minji to that broomstick putter earlier this season. It's been a part of a game that she has struggled with in the past. Wielding its magic well here in Cheongna. This for birdie. Just moves right so quick. And he stays level through the first 9. Hyun-ju. That's what makes things interesting. Can't get it to go. She was really impressed since turning professional and joining the KLPGA Tour last season. Park Hyun-juns would just give her a little breathing room. Take some confidence into the back 9. So easily stumbled after the drop shots on 6 and 7, but a good birdie on 8. And good look here at 9. Just settle her down. Will drop. So, a couple of birdies, a couple of bogeys. Hyun-jun's lead temporarily at 3. To Song and Jung, the second, the 10th. Ben's cut just on the front left portion of the green today, so a little bit more accessible than it was over the first 2 rounds. To cut that lead of Park back to 2. It's an excellent fall for Sung Yujin. Breaks the run of pars, turns in 35. Sets in solo second. She heads to the 10th tee. Just paying attention to Yu Hyun Jo's putt. Done the exact same thing. Face open at impact. Capitalizing that very good second shot. Yeah, on the 17th, Park Hyun-kyung's third shot. Uphill to this raised green. Just got to keep it out of those bunkers short. She's done that. It's a nice little forward kick as well. It's good to see that better weather has certainly led to better scoring, and that's what we want to see, and certainly the fans who have come out to watch some of the best in the women's game in South Korea on the sea as well. Down just from the first cut of rough. Line looks pretty good for E. A pitching wedge from 150. It's going to have to be a well-struck one, maybe expecting a bit of a jumper from this rough. Nicely. He's played a very good second shot. Just 22, Park Hyun-jin. Victory. Her confidence certainly serve her in good stead. She tries to leave Bears Best Cheongna with a trophy again in September. Leads by 2. She starts her back 9 Saturday afternoon. Swinging with a great deal of confidence. It was a fast finish yesterday that gave her the outright lead through 36 birdies on 17 and 18. Never really looked like she was flustered at all. There's some very tricky conditions on Friday. Eugene. Best finish of the season, a runner-up at the Aurora World Ladies Championship, a new event of the KLPGA Tour. Did come third last week in Incheon at the OK Savings Bank Open. Li Yulin for a much-needed birdie on 12, and a rare one at that. Good birdie there for E, first of the day. There's a lot of storylines that we'll be keeping our eyes on throughout the course of weekend action here at Bears Best, but it's Park Hye-jin who extends her lead to 2 after an outward half of 34. Wasn't the most convincing of approach shots into 10 for So Yeon-jung, but this is what faces her for birdie. Currently trailing Park Hye-jin by 3. to the par 3 16th. Find OG1 on the tee. Battle hard to make the halfway cut. OGU, unfortunately, missing out. He's got all the way back to even for the tournament. A good day's work going for her. Simpler putt than Soyeon Jung since she's putting from the correct level of the green. A bit more aggressive with her speed. Very nearly. Kim for another at 17. Only made 7 birdies today. So back 9 off with a birdie there at 10. Take it back just outside the top 10. After a difficult front 9, that's a more positive start for Huang. The 12th and hard charging Yu Hyun Jo's got a 6-iron. Shot there, beautiful distance control, gets it onto that upper plateau. Just a bit of cleaning up to do for Saw's par at 10. Keeps the card nice and tidy. Birdie coming back at 8. Absolute dart at the pin from a much shorter yardage on the previous hole. Don't want to be too greedy here though. Maybe Sun Yujin. Got ample room out right of this hole location. One place you don't want to be is short-sided in that bunker left. She'll know that. Took off a pretty aggressive line. First bounce, but it's a good solid shot for her. Dayan at the claustrophobic 11th. Rough and a bunker down the left, penalty area all the way up the right hand side. Pushed a tee shot right yesterday, which led to a bogey 5. Not the case today, that's an absolute peach. Just up the left edge of the fairway. Much more accessible hole location on the 11th today, so you see a few more birdies recorded. Back to 10 and Minji. Slightly fatter ball flight than Sun Yujin. So we certainly have to be looking out right, trying to turn one in from right to left. That is just the difference there, the workability, the different shots that a player of Minji's caliber can produce at will. Excellent shot. 10, back to 11. Soyeon Jung. Find this narrow sliver of fairway. Can't do so, but like I said, with that pin in a slightly easier position, this is the fairway just to the left. Not the end of the world this Saturday. Hyejun just got to play her own game. Don't worry about what Yujin and Minji are doing. Good pass through the ball. That is a superb response to Minji's approach. Well, anything you can do, I can do too. Through the back of the green at 11 is where we find Ansori. Almost a 75-foot putt up and over a ridge, which should kick it a little right. Keep sliding, keep sliding. Oh, how good is this putt? What excellent touch from Ansori. To 12, Jewel, beg your pardon, 16 and OG1. Himself into red figures. That's where it's all gonna culminate tomorrow afternoon. 480 pin a day, you can see kind of that right hand section of the green. Take a direct line at it. It's a tough one to access, but you can throw it into a slope about 20 feet left. The ball's cutting. Grab that slope and just sort of feed into that peninsula of green. Impressive reading for a parking field today. He's only missed one fairway. He's just so good with these clubs. Nice and shallow through the ball. Digging in, just sweeps it off the turf, which is rather helpful in operating the hybrids. Just a little deep. Looks like it's settled in a fairly level line. Just caught in between clubs there. Part one, this iron she carries is a 5. 8 to 10. That's Sung Jin. Trying just inch ever closer to Park Hye-jun. Try, but it's only going to be a par 4. Tough day for Lee Seung-yeon to start the weekend, but that birdie should make her feel a little better. Bogey on 18. Unfortunately, that bad juju has carried on to her play on Saturday. She'll have a birdie on 11 as we go back to 10. Hye-jun to extend her lead to 3. Excellent approach. Setting up that opportunity. That's 3 birdies in a row. The 36-hole leader. This one short of the green and have it bounce up. It lands pin high. Don't see it holding. There it goes, shooting on towards the back of the green and stays out of the bunker, but a bit of an awkward stance. ENG showing Eugene at 5 under par. Impressive stuff from Minjee Lee. Red figures for the first time in her round today. Expect this fairly close from Darion. Such a great operator when he's coming in from the fairway. Clumsy one, although still a makeable lead there. Certainly wasn't up to her high standards. Now this is Yoo Hyun Jo at 12, looking to join Lee and Sung at 5 under. Excellent approach to be on the correct plateau. The putt leaves much to be desired.
플레이하겠습니다.
You wouldn't know it, but that young lady has been outscoring her 2 more seasoned playing partners. Yoo Jun has turned a 1-shot overnight lead into a 3-shot cushion. She's not letting up one bit. That's an excellent tee shot. A tight par 4. Ever winner of the Western Australia Amateur Open in 2010. Just 14 years of age. Her first victory on the LPGA Tour just over a decade ago at the Kingsmill Championship in 2015. What a career Minjee has continued to have since then. Many signs of slowing down. The 18th Hyun Kyung. The line looks to be okay. It's in a fairly level spot. The pitch is down and away from her. This back bunker. This looks like Kenny discussing landing this in the fringe. That takes some of the speed off this shot and have it trickle on down to the hole. The other alternative, throw it to the hole with spin. That takes a precise strike and a lot of speed. So this should be the percentage option. The slope there, it's got to hold up a little. Alright. Enjoy of that for the low round of the week. Thus far, anyway. Just about has a stance back of the 11th green. So Yoo Jun throw this one out the left and have it tumble right. To keep going. It's going to catch that slope. I just don't think it's got enough momentum to make it all the way down to the cup. Could be a little bit of an awkward shot. She has a rather lengthy putt for par left. Shin-sil, last week's winner in Incheon, third victory of the season, 4 over par for the tournament. Inside the top 5 on the money and points list. After her 5th career victory just over a week ago. And Sung-hee at 12. This left rough, got to come over that big greenside bunker. Second shot. This could be Perfect. Just stay up on top of that rise. Don't come back. Okay. Phenomenal stuff. We're back to 16, and Kim Min Sun 7, who's one over the card. One over for the championship, one under the card today. Just on the right side of the green, so the penalty here on the left should be in play. Front nine after back-to-back birdies. The lead was only one for Park Hyun-jun. The 8th hole, stepped up and rolled that birdie putt in. The 9th with Sung Hyun-jin and Min-ji Lee in fairly close. Stepped up to the plate and delivered another excellent approach leading to a birdie. And with Min-ji Lee in tight again at 9. Another gorgeous iron shot. Great conversion. Into a burst of 3 birdies in a row. A 3-shot cushion. One-time winner on tour. He's keeping her cool in the heat. A moving day. Because Dayon has still played on a 3rd shot just from the left fringe. Hyun Kyung for a closing par at 18. Yes, very well done. That's the best round recorded of the week at Bears Best so far. 5 under par 67, which included 7 birdies. That moves Hyun Kyung into Sunday at 2 under. Very nice playing indeed. Back to 11 and a par saving putt for So Yeon Jung. Pretty straight on her. I was expecting that to turn a little harder, and I'm pretty sure Saul was as well. So, costly bogey. Just some separation at the top of the leaderboard right now. Some great playing from Park Hye-jun. This is Lee Seung-yeon. He's just birdied 11, trying to pick another off here at 12. And she will. It's one of 4 players tied for the lead at 4 under par at one stage yesterday. Now back at even for the tournament. Jeonju at the short 13th. Got to be thinking birdie here from the fairway with wedge in hand. Funny bounce that one. I was expecting it to rip back off the slope towards the hole. As a result, Yu Gun-jo will have a rather brisk birdie putt. Back to 12 and An Sung-hee looking to get to 2 under par. Oh, capitalizes on an excellent approach from that left rough. Sung-hee now moves alongside Hyun Kyung in a share of 7th. Sung. So cut a little 6-iron in towards this front right pin. The backstop long and right. should she choose to use it. It's a really good shot from that range. Shinsil end off her day with a par 4. Okay. Good putt there for Bang Shinsil. Par 73. She's hit some absolutely gorgeous approaches over the last 3 holes. She got another one in the locker at 11. Sort of follow through again. Just punch one in there. A good distance control, you have to say, from Park Hye-jun. It's the hallmark of a good iron player. Could be a little left, could be a little right, but you always pin high. First major title in 2021 at the Evian Championship, in the fishery of late collapse for a certain Jungwon Lee 6. Had 2 more in the US Women's Open in 2022 and this year's Women's PGA Championship. That is really a clumsy miss. Middle of the fairway. ENG. Just a demanding tee shot 12, but playing a little easier in calm conditions this 3rd round. Kim Min-sun 7, trying to get back to even after that nice tee shot on 16. Excellent birdie. Winner of this year's Dokshun EPC Championship, first title as a professional, did win as an amateur at the end of 2023. Much talented Lydia Co on the closing hole. Just been a tough day and a half for the Hall of Famer. No birdies on the card yet today, just the 1 bogey back at 7 for Lids. Player, male or female, to stand on all 3 steps of the podium over the last 3 Olympic Games. Silver in Rio, a bronze in Tokyo, and then gold medalist in Paris last year. Good break from Minji Lee, keeping it out of that deep bunker. And a difficult chip shot now, especially off that upslope. Just a little pop and run can drop the club head into the back of the ball. Should pop up fairly high and just come out tumbling. It's pretty flat once it hits the green, maybe working a little uphill as well, so it can be a little more aggressive with this one. The only bogey in the back nine yesterday came at this hole, but I think she's going to walk away with a par on Saturday. Three birdies in a row have given the overnight leader a 3-shot cushion over Minji Lee and Sung Yoo Jin. We're into the back nine on Saturday at the Hana Financial Group Championship. Certainly send a message to the chasers. Park Hye-jun for 4 birdies in a row. Oh, I thought that was going to drop. It just stayed straight at the end. Great effort, though, for Park. 12. Way down the middle of the fairway. Seen a couple of good shots to this back pin already at the par 4. Pretty solid as well there. Any putt you take from the top level of this green. Best of the bunch in this group. So Hye-jun tries to just keep Park Hye-jun in her sights after that excellent second. So working downhill, just tailing off to the right. And she's made it. Ooh, it tried to get away, but safely in the bottom of the jar. Sung Yoo-jin cuts that lead back to 2. Back of the 18th is where we find EA1, who's just birdied 17 to get back to 3 over par. But it's been another rough week. The one-time leader of the money and points list, although that's more of the magic that we've been accustomed to seeing from Yeowon. There's a couple of birdies there, ends off with a level par round of 72. Chip shot looked like it ended up a little closer than this for Minji, but this is going to pose too many problems for her. Straight putt and moving gently uphill. Okay, covers well after that poor iron shot. Another swing, this downhill birdie putt for Yoo Hyun-jo at 13. To start building on Sung Yoo-jin. Just want to avoid that left-hand bunker off this tee. She's done that. Lydia Co. Last year, earning her enough points to automatic qualification into the LPGA's Hall of Fame, youngest player to do so. Park Hye-jun gets through the ball very nicely, seems to gain a ton of speed with her arms. Nobody gets out of the way well. Swinging with a lot of confidence up ahead on the green. Lee Dae-yeon. Sort of the putt we saw An Sung-hee hole earlier. This for birdie. Lydia for par. Disappointing 3-putt bogey on the closing hole for Lydia Co. That will be a round of 2 over par 74. Sadly, not going to be a factor in this year's Hana Financial Group Championship. championship back in a share of 40th. Former world #1. Now Jun Yuri, what looks to be the par 5 15th with her third shot. Kim Jae-hee, former Singapore Women's Open champion, finds herself bunkered at the home hole. First sister pair to win on the KLPGA Tour. Go Ji-won and Go Ji-yu. Doesn't find the bunker, just that little island of rough. So a good break. Ji-won. Looks to brush this in for her par at the 12th. Oh dear. That is a huge mistake, having an excellent look for birdie. And leave the green having dropped a shot. So a clumsy 3-putt cost Dion her first drop shot of the afternoon. Jun Yuri had a similar looking putt on this hole yesterday. Left or right, and it just didn't hit it with enough conviction and pace. That was actually for bogey, found the penalty area. The disastrous double at the par 5 is going to drop Yuri back to 3 over. Eugene. He's always been a very good iron player. Real trouble in the direct line with this hole from the right side of the fairway. Sure, he's just starting a little left, trying to cut one in. Overcooked it that time. Players are trying to do on this 12 is make sure that they leave themselves putting from the upper level of this 2-tiered green. It's easier to work out what the ball's going to do. You don't have a big slope to negotiate. On the par 4, 13th. Good look to get to 2 under. Downhill right to left it. Looked like that was going to be a little low all the way, unfortunately. Big tee shot from Min-Ji Lee. Down the left half of the fairway, only has 140 meters left. Yeah. Good shot there. The correct level of the green. Leading by 2 over Sung Yoo-jin and 3 over the Australian ENG Lee. Into the back 9 of round 3 at the 7th Hana Financial Group Championship. 1.5 billion Korean won. Prize purse up for grabs. KLPGA Tour going to be rolling on to the next major of the season, the Height Jinro Championship at Blue Heron Golf and Country Club next week. So another hugely important, prestigious championship will be on the line. Coverage will start from Thursday, 2 p.m. Korean time. Slightly misguided on 14 was Yoo Hyun-ju, who's chipping from the back of the green at this par 3. Judged that very nicely indeed.
Okay.
Driver not necessary at the 13th hole for most of the players. Dion just going with that 3-wood. Give herself a nice yardage in for her approach. Finds herself back at 2 over par now. Outside chance to remedy that at the par 3. Lovely stuff there. Back inside the top 20 goes Koo. Sung Yoo-jin, you can see that spine that she's going to have to negotiate. So as the ball makes its way across that little slope, it's going to want to turn a little left. Uphill to start, then pretty flat once it gets past that crest. Pretty nicely done. Choi Yun-woo, 16th, finds herself 1 over par for the tournament. Another good approach, tee shot into this par 3. Kim Jae-hee splashed out of the sand to here on the 18th. This for her par. Won the Hana Financial Group Singapore Women's Open 2 Januaries ago at the Tanamera Country Club's Tampines course in the Lion City on her 21st birthday. Some present that must have been. Yeah. Good tidy way to close out her round, Jae-hee. Bit of a mirror image putt to the one that faced Sung Yoo-jin earlier. It's also going to come up that little rise, but it will be moving from Hyejin's left to right. Not the most convincing effort at birdie, but cast iron par will do. little opportunity perhaps for Minji Lee to try and eke closer to her playing partner. Easiest of the 3 putts, minimal break in this one. Can't quite get it high enough. Minji stays at 5 under par.
Nice ball.
So what kind of number does Idayon have into this 13th? 2 meters. Got a lob wedge. Struck nicely. This will be a 1 hop and stop. Popped out a little high, but got a nice forward kick and a beautiful response after the 3-putt mistake back on 12. Keep your focus on this one. We saw Dayon miss a similar looking one in the group ahead. Eugen for her par. Yep, very good. Nice 2-putt.
거다 이랬는데 이렇게 넘어가는 거.
Bears Best in Cheongna, 27-hole layout, a compilation of Jack Nicklaus's favorite holes from around the world, split into 3 nines, the USA, the Europe, and the Australasia nines, the first 2 being used once again for this year's Hana Financial Group Championship. And your final threesome make their way up to the 13th hole. You can see it there. I understand why a lot of players aren't going with driver. No benefit on the shortest par 4 in the golf course, just a 3-wood or a hybrid into the generously sized fairway, and try and attack with a short iron and a wedge. Give yourself a good birdie look, but it's one of those holes that presents the players with an excellent opportunity to pick up a shot on this back 9. Your song from downtown at 16 will muster a birdie. After a couple of drop shots, he's headed back in the right direction. Eugen with the honor, and looks to be a 3-wood or perhaps a 5-wood. Very generously sized fairway for the players on 13. So Young Chung, slippery one down the slope ahead on the green. Oh dear, it had a peak. Just a little too much pace to grab the edge and tumble in. Eugen doesn't need to watch that, she knows where that's heading. Said earlier, it's not really about getting this as far down the fairway as possible. It's trying to leave yourself a good full number where you can make a free swing and attack that pin up ahead on the green. Excellent approach, Dion, with the simplest of conversions for birdie. And take back alongside Yu Hyun Jo at 4 under. It's been a really nice day for Jaravi Bunchan, although having just dropped a shot, finds herself back at even par. Bogey on the par 3 16th. Still for the tie, running in a share of 12th at the moment. Second shot to the par 4 18th. Haven't seen too many close to this pin position today. Just want to look a little left, trying to use the slope. Such a shallow portion of the green to attack if you want to take a direct line at the pin. Go straight at it, but the line looks okay for the tie. Boyfriend Sadom Kalkanjana, reigning Kolon Korea Men's Open champion, won that title. And Chuncheon and La Vie Belle back at the end of May. Now Choi Yun-woo following up that great tee shot at 16 with a nice conversion for birdie. To 15 we go. Third shot of Yu Hyun Jo at the par 5. It's a pretty darn good one. She's 4 under and bogey free on her round. Great look to take it to 5. That's the tee shot that faces the players at this slightly downhill par 3 14th. Pin cut on that left-hand side of the green. The deep greenside trap must be avoided. You see a lot of players just looking out a little right, a little long of this pin. Check their chances with a birdie putt from somewhere around 25-30 feet. history. If Dion has a nice number, the stock number for her approach, a tee shot and a par 3, she's not afraid to challenge some tucked pins. This does set up nicely for her usual right to left ball flight. Excellent shot. Aggressive swings at conservative targets. That's what the Big Easy Ernie Els used to say. A bit of breeze coming off the left and hurting Minjee Lee slightly on the 13. Should help this one come down softly with a little bit more spin. Dear. That one stayed dry. Not sure it did, you know. Curious shot. Just seemed to like it off the club face. Eugene. Maybe a negative thought entering the head there. Sound putting her off. A number of people out there following this final group, and rightfully so. Start that one out well left, Sun Yujin. She knows the only error she can't make here is just coming up short and just skip through the fairway into the rough. Ample room long. Sensible with that 2-shot lead. No, she doesn't need to do anything special on this hole. 13, Kim Min Sun 7. We know how treacherous this shot is, and she has played an absolute beauty. Took some courage to just drop that past the heavy rough. Really excellent touch from Kim. Solid jump at the 14th for her birdie. Currently finds herself at 3 under par and should stay there at the end of this hole. Very poor second shot from Minjee Lee, having only had wedge in hand at the 13th. The ball has stayed dry. This is her third. And she's got a bit of stressing to do for that par putt. Chance here on 14, and it's one she takes. Lee Dayon, birdie up to 5 under par. Here comes the 2023 champion. She's the lady that holds the cards right now, Park Hye-jun, with that 2-shot cushion and this birdie putt back on the 13th. Looked a little low coming off the putter face, but the par does her scorecard, no damage whatsoever. Now for a birdie on 15, Yoo Hyun Jo. Oh dear, that's a very costly miss. Really nicely played pitch shot. Go unrewarded for the reigning 2-time Star Championship winner. There's a curious shot selection from the middle of the fairway for Sung Yoo-jin. Aimed it well left, trying to perhaps hit some kind of big slicing lob wedge and spin it off the slope. It's a putt for birdie, but it's a fairly slippery one. It'll drop though, and Sung Yoo-jin halves Park Hye-jun's advantage. Well, maybe she does know what she's doing. Who am I to doubt? Sung Yoo-jin gets to 7 under. Yeah, Bunchan over the back of the 18th. Face wide open, trying to slide that through the fringe. She's done pretty well. That's going to be a tricky par-saving putt with a lot of break in it. And she's been a little clumsy. Think about that approach into the 11th from the middle of the fairway. And again here on 13, but some good tidy short game work. Has bailed Minjee Lee out again. She'll walk off with a par. She's holding steady, Park Hye-jun, but those birdies from Sung Yoo-jin and Lee Dayon in the group ahead are just making things a little tighter. Bunchan for a par and to end what's been a very solid day of golf for the tie. Yes, well done. Good up and down on the last for Jaravi Bunchan. That's a round of 2 under par 70. She just reaches the fringes of contention, just outside the top 10. Kim Min-sun 7. Also in for a par after that lovely bunker shot. She'll match Bunchan's round of 2 under par 70 in all likelihood. They are going to be grouped together again tomorrow for the final round. Got a good amount of momentum in her corner now, Sung Yoo-jin. She steps up on the tee at 14. To the 16th, and Yoo Hyun-jo had that great opportunity slip back at 15, still having a pretty good day. 4 under the card, up into the first page of the leaderboard. That's another beautiful tee shot at the par 3 for Yoo. To the other par 3, the back 9. Championship leader, Park Hye-jun. I have to say, I like that golf swing. A little punchy, abbreviated follow-through. Just looks like she's got so much more control over the dispersion of that golf ball. Han Sung-hee, unfortunately, took a double bogey a couple holes ago. Finds herself back at even par now. Good chance to make amends there on 15. Love to just put a solid strike on this one, Minji. Sounded like she compressed that nicely. Is it turning back now? Well, maybe a little long. Aggressive swing though from the Aussie. Now up to Dion at 15. 283, not thinking about reaching this green and 2 with the tees moved back today. Just trying to get it over that little creek that splits this fairway. Yep, she's done that. Hyun trying to claw her way back to even par. Another birdie lands on 16. Great one there from Koo, player who needs a solid result this week just to make the task of keeping her card at the end of the season that much easier. Sung-hee, can she find a 4 at 15 after that good approach? This one a little to the left. Just enough speed on it to hold its line. Good bounce back for An Sung-hee. Already seen 1 birdie on the 16th, and Hon Jin-young make it 2. Yes, she can. Downhill a little as it makes its way to the cup. Should be moving from left to right as well for Park Hye-jun. Went the other way on her, and that's a bit of a knee knocker. 22-year-old. So Yun Jung playing from the far side of the penalty area here on the par 5 15th. Really no option to go at that flag. Was forced to look out right. Going to be a hat trick of birdies on this group. This par 3. Oh, it's simple hole when you can play it like that. Great birdies all round. Yoo Hyun-ju moves into a share of 3rd alongside Daeon and Min-ji Lee. Finds herself putting from the back edge of the green at 14 for birdie. Cooks that one. Lee also a bit of struggling to do for her par. Hasn't made it easy on herself since making the turn. Barring that birdie on 10, of course. Well, she's played the fewest number of events of anyone in the field coming into this week's championship, Lee Daeon. Just the 17th. Missed 7 cuts though, including one last week, and actually had a pretty horrid start to the year, missing the first 5 cuts in a row for a quarter-final exit at the Doosan match play in the middle of May. Lost in a playoff to Ro Seung-hui at the Heaven Masters and looked assured of at least getting to a playoff at Fortune Hills at the Hankyung Ladies Cup back in August before a electrifying eagle finish in the 72nd hole from Kim Min-sol denied Daeon the opportunity for extra time. Pretty good from Lee Daeon. He was turning on the style on this back 9 after that 3-putt at 12. Showing that putt for 3 in a row. So go back to Sung Yoo Jin at 14 for her birdie. Hit with a bit more pace, gave itself a wonderful try. Jenny Sung will end off her 3rd round with a nice birdie there on the 9th. Good way to finish. 4 birdies in her last 5, rounded 70 for Jun. Number of solid par-saving putts in this back 9. These are the sort of putts that just keep your round together. And another one goes for Min-ji. Good save again. Serial winner in Korea and Japan, affectionately known as Big Mama, An Sun-ju, having a tough day at 7 over par, but that's her 3rd into the 9th, and count on her to be able to brush that one in without too much difficulty. So First nervy length par putt that Park Hye-jun has faced this back nine. But tackled well. Stays one clear. Problems for Sung Yoo-jin. Good two-putt. Keeps her as Park's closest pursuer. Been a very good day for Park Min-ji. Started the round at 4 over par, but she's 5 deep on the day. Not a blemish on her card. She'll have that for a 66. So Eun-jung, 4th shot on 15, played a third from well back the other side of the creek. That one needs to settle down. Under a little pressure to save par at this par 5. Will be running in solo 6th, 5 shots adrift of Park Hye-jun's target. Closest pursuer, though, is back on the tee. You need to send a good one away here. This back tee and a little bit of breeze into the players' faces. Just makes such a difference to be able to get your second shot into the layup zone past the creek, lest you be playing from a long way back like So Eun-jung was in the group ahead. Will depend on the lie from there for Sung Yoo-jin as we go back to 18. And Park Min-ji for a closing birdie. It's got half a chance. Oh my goodness, what an effort from Park. That is a sublime effort on Saturday. A lady who has been the most successful South Korean on the domestic tour with 19 professional victories. Great effort there. Matches the 67 posted by her good friend Park Hyun-kyung earlier today. Going to the final round at 1 under. Probably needs something similarly special if she wants to contend come tomorrow afternoon. Safely found for your tournament leader at the par 5. Down at the green though, Lee Dae-yeon for 3 in a row to get to 6 under par, just a hair outside the left lip, I want to say. Got it. Dae-yeon on the move. Spinning her wheels a little over the last hour in G League. Still very much in the picture if she can find a birdie or two coming home. Continues to lead by 1 over Sung Yoo-jin and 2 over the hard-charging Lee Dae-yeon into the late stages of Saturday here at Bears Best. I think it's going to be fairly straightforward layup for Park Hye-jun. Much will depend on the lies for Minji Lee and Sung Yoo-jin. Yoo-jin's only got an iron, so I don't think it's good enough where she can get it over the creek. Maybe just erring on the side of caution. Trying to keep it short of the water. She'll be playing a third from an awfully long way back if that's the case. It shows you the premium that is placed on good driving here at Bears Best. Most important thing, got that one back into the fairway. Like So Yeon Jung and the group up ahead. Must be a little better for Minji Lee. She's got out the heavy artillery, trying to clear the creek. Really shorten up that third shot to this green. And solid contact is a must. Sounded solid enough. Doesn't seem too bothered. There you go. Easy as you like it for the Perth-born South Korean. Koo Rae-hyun has been on a bit of a run recently, picking up a couple of birdies to move her back to even par. Oh, that's excellent at the par 5 17th. It's got some good mojo going in this group. Most of it provided by the lady who tops the points list coming into this championship, Yoo Hyun-ju, is within 3 of Park Hye-jun. Straight at it, another good hook to come. No problems in getting to the back of the ball cleanly for your tournament leader. She'll be side by side with Min-ji Lee for their third shots at 15. Dion, who's also been on a bit of a move over the last couple of holes. He's got 5-iron on this 16th tee. Most gettable pin we've seen thus far this week at the par 3. Caught that a little high on the face, but doesn't land on the green. Just skips through into the back rough. Not terrible there for Dion. Shows you how much longer the third shot of Sung Yoo-jin's going to be into 15, having had to lay it well back. Just don't even look at this pin out towards the right half of the green is where you want to go. Nicely executed for Sung. Can report that So Yeon-jung did in fact hold in her par saving putt, so she remains at 3 under, solo 6th. Hyun-ju, really good chance to take it 6 deep for her round, up to 6 under for the tournament. This one moves from her right, and she's buried it. Beautifully holed. You think about that short one she missed on the 15, could very well be a couple shots better. To the last, and Lee Hyo-sung trying to end off her day. Ooh, just shaves the right edge of the cup. It's a round of 1 over par 73 for Hyo-sung. Lisa inside the top 25. Park, pretty aggressive. Koo Rae-hyun. Every one of these putts is going to be so vital towards the end of the season for her as she tries to play herself in to the top 60 at the end of the season to earn full playing rights on tour next year. She gets it to 1 under. But this is the time for Min-ji to just try and get her feet back under her. She's hit a couple of very poor iron shots, but crafted great birdie opportunities for herself. That's okay. Just like that half its distance, if we're being completely honest. It should be the first to admit that was not up to scratch for a player of her caliber. Dion, perhaps trying to decide whether that ball is on a closely mown area, and she will be able to lift clean and place it. Rules official there overseeing the process, and again, as long as any part of your golf ball is touching the closely mown area, she is allowed to then lift clean and place it. Could be a dimple, could obviously be the whole ball. But if she isn't given relief, this may get a little awkward, because it almost looks like that ball is really nestled into the seam between the fringe cut and the first cut of rough. So while she deliberates that, we'll go back to the 3 birdie putts for the final group on 15. Got them really in tight, all very makeable. And for some Eugene, it's sort of that range where, yes, it's gently downhill, a little bit of right to left in it, but from this range you're not expecting to hole putts of this length. So more often than not, when you are playing well, as she is today, being 3 under and bogey free, you tend to freewheel these putts a little more. And more often than not, when you've got some good momentum going, they tend to scare the hole and occasionally drop. Third place finish last week to Bang Shin Sil at Club 72. 5 top 10s on her season and only 2 missed cuts. But first to putt is going to be Lydia Park Hye-jun, who has this for birdie. Just wants to go a little left at the cup. Got half a chance. Oh, she's birdied this hole every single day, but will come up agonizingly short on Saturday. Look at this shot into 9. So very nearly a walk-off eagle. Eugene for her birdie and to tie the lead at 15. She too comes up a roll shy. Again, having had to lay up well short of the creek. Can't be disappointed with a 5 today if you're some Eugene. Dion. The ball was deemed to be touching the closely mown area, so is able to take a full 1 club length of lift clean in place, and that really simplifies this now. So gentle left to right breaking putt for Lee. Looks a little uphill in the first half and then just plateaus out. herself a little more work than she would have liked as we go back to ENG Lee, who's in desperate need of one of these putts to start dropping. Gave it a good try there. Scared the hole, but still going to be just a 5. So things as they were coming into the weekend, pretty bunched at the top. Yejun by 1 over Yujin and 2 over Lee Daeyeon and Yoo Hyun-jo, who has just birdied the par 5 17th. Don't want to undo all that good momentum you started building up over the last couple of holes. Daeyeon facing this par saving putt at 16. Oh, just creeps it in the right lip, and you can see what that means to her. Little fist pump tells the story. She'll stay 6 under. Somewhere behind Daeyeon's scorecard is the lie of Yoo Hyun-jo, who's tackling her approach to the 18th. It'll be tough to stop it from that matted down spot. This one heading a little long, I feel. Oh no, it's okay. it's going to work out well. Don't think it's going to grab the slope, but that's a good smart shot from Hyunju. It's the scene on the par 3 16th as the gallery line the entire right-hand side of the hole. The final 3-ball of Park Hye-jun, Sung Yoo-jin and Min-ji Lee set to take on this par 3. See a number of tee shots close to this right pin position already. It's a 4-iron for Sung Yoo-jin. Stays out of the weeds. It's a bit of a wide miss for a player who has looked pretty solid with her iron play for most of the day. An Sung-hee on 17 for birdie. Just a putt that should move a little off her right as it gets to the hole. Clobbered that one through the break. It was never going to turn at that pace, unfortunately. Daeyeon at 17. Just a brutally long hole for these ladies. 2 good shots and then try and conjure something up with your third. That's the recipe at this 524-meter long hole. Stubbornly clinging on to that lead since she began the day. Park Hye-jun stretched it to 3 at one point, now back to 1. That's a pretty good tee shot into 16. Sung-hee for her par. Okay, well handled. Present just 11 players in red figures in what's been a tough week thus far at Bears Best. I expected Min-ji to make a bit more of a run. She's still hanging tough, 1 under for her round. Still 3 holes to play. This one just heading towards the middle of the green, trying to cut. Okay, absolutely nothing wrong with that tee shot. Solid from Min-ji. Should expect good crowds out for tomorrow's final round with a very impressive looking leaderboard. At the moment topped by the relatively unheralded, you have to say, Park Hye-jun. And that with no disrespect, she is a winner on the KLPGA Tour, but you've got the headline acts in Min-ji Lee up there. You've got Hyunju, Lee Daeyeon and Sung Yoo-jin too, and Koo Rae-hyun battling for something very different. Place on the KLPGA Tour in 2026, and that was a little steamy, but clatters into the stick and should result in a par, and it'll be a hard-working round of 71. She goes ahead and brushes that one in. Things were looking a little rocky through the end of the front 9, but she's done well to recover with 3 birdies in her last couple of holes. And back to 17, and Daeyeon just in that left rough. Gotta give it the full scent here. Breeze is helping. A little off the right.
보드만 봐야 돼. 많이는 아니지.
The only thing that Yu Hyun Jo's got to be wary about here is maybe being a little bit too gung-ho and trying to roll this 30-footer for birdie in on 18. It is a little downhill. You just got to respect that pace. Those where you want to focus in on the speed, leave yourself no more than a tap in for par. It's the whole great, but it's been such a good day at the office. You don't want to leave yourself a stressy par look on the closing hole. Oh, lucky it got a piece of the hole. That was traveling with some speed. Lots of real estate to work with from the left-hand side of the screen. Took the aerial route, tried to fly it there with a little bit of spin. She'll have about 9-10 feet left for her par. To 18 we go, and Hong Jin Young trying to handle this par putt, going into Sunday at 1 over par. Yep, well read and nicely rolled in for Hong Jin Young. Second straight 73 for her. Currently shares 20th. Now Minji, got to be positive with your speed here. This one coming uphill. Needs to go. It's not going to. Just gone off the boil a little, Minji. Giving yourself good enough looks. Now for par, and the low round of the week. Very good round of golf for Yu Hyun Jo. 2024 Rookie of the Year in contention for a second time. 2025. She'll start Sunday at 6 under. Will she be in the final group? That's the question. Park Hye-jun hasn't made a birdie since the 10th. And that run will continue despite that valiant effort on 16. Testy one for Sung Yoo-jin. Quick as well, coming downhill, just bending a little to the right. Didn't read enough break into it. That's a bit of a costly mistake on the hole that's played so much easier in calm conditions. this Saturday. First blemish on her card this weekend. I don't need to start this outside the hole. You can hear Minji saying to her caddy, this is going to move a little to the left. Caddy says nope. Pretty straight, and to be fair, every putt's straight if you hit it hard enough. So I don't think this is anything more than right half with good pace for Lee. Nicely deposited. And she knows better than anyone. The tournament is never over until it's over.
It's so hard. Lots of that length of straight uphill.
Trails by 3. 20 holes to play in the 7th Hana Financial Group Championship. So we're up to the lady who bested her 2 years ago, Lee Daeyeon, set to play her third shot to the par 5 17th. Just 106 meters, but got to factor in the elevation coming up to the target as well for E. It up that slope. Bit of a poor wedge shot, you have to say. Daeyeon back on the tee. Can just give this one a full rip, really. If you're Park Hye-jun, only place you can't miss it is left, for obvious reasons. See from that overhead shot, ample room out to the right hand side. Bunker's not going to be a factor for these ladies. Well, if she can find a birdie in the last 2 holes, just put the pep in her step. She leaves Cheongna today. Sung Eun-ah, who's just treaded water today, not necessarily a bad thing, running at even par. And the second shot to the last out of that first cut of rough, tree ahead, not going to be a problem, and that's a beautiful shot from Song. And Song started her day with the bogey, took a double at 13, but just sprinkled 3 birdies in and amongst all that to be even for her round, and still in red figures for the championship. One of 11 players to be under par at this stage of the Hana Financial Group Championship. That's also solidly played. Dion did not need to see this putt for birdie. Going to have to factor in how that slope in front of her is going to affect the ball. Slow it down to start, and then it should move from left to right once it just gets past her playing partner's marker. You can see on the green ahead. Just lacked pace for Dion. Going to be fairly elementary layups for all three players in this final group. Again, like I mentioned, with Dion, it's just give it the full send, try and leave yourself as short a wedge as possible to the 17th green. So Eugene, easily the shortest hitter amongst these three, has to be wary of the nest of fairway bunkers down the left-hand side. Still, even with the sand on the port side, it's a pretty generous layup area for these players. Quickly back to 17 for Hyojin's layup. Three players in the final group doing what they have to do here on 17. Well, can An Sung-yi end off her day with this par-saving putt on the last? Gave it a mighty effort. It's going to be a costly bogey at the close. The two-time tour winner. In 73 today, bookend bogeys, unfortunately, for An Sung-yi. Just 10 players left in red figures. Dion. Don't see this putt being too much of a problem for Yi. no mistakes. She'll head to the 18th at 6 under par, one of 3 players 2 shots behind Park Hye-jun. Sung up. Good chance to end her day with a birdie. This one just coming a little downhill at the last hole. Fabulous way to close for Song. In a double bogey and 4 birdies in her run yesterday. It's 3 drop shots against the same number of birdies today, leading to a 71. Meters plus the elevation, so closer to the 138 mark for Sung Yoo-jin. Bit of breeze helping her and coming off the right. Unlike Daeyeon, gets that to stick on the right side of the slope. Good solid shot for Sung. Back to 18 we go, and Lee Seong-yeon for par. A hole that plagued her with a double bogey at the end of Friday's play. Results in a par, but it's a disappointing 75 for her. Hye-jun. She knows the equation here. Anything short doesn't really kick up, especially with the amount of spin she creates with these wedges. Just got to look out past the pin here. Just like that. Good, smart shot. Minji. Got to take advantage. Remember, only wedge in hand. Got to stay aggressive and got to execute. It's okay. Should just work a little off that slope, and she'll give herself her best opportunity at a birdie since once she converted back on 10. Up to the 18th tee, and Lee Daeyeon, imperative to find this fairway if you want to have any hope of accessing this right section of the green. Just a couple of holes left to go on what's been a brilliant afternoon of golf here at Bears Best that sees Park Hye-jun continue to lead by 2. Yoo Hyun-jo with a round of the week, a bogey-free 66 that leaves her one of 3 players tied for second. She leads by 2 right now, Park Hye-jun. She has this to try to take it to 9 under par late Saturday afternoon, seeking a second victory of the season. And that is center cup all the way. Park Hye-jun has had to stay patient. That is her 6th birdie of her day. Now just gets herself a little separation from the trio at 6 under, one of whom is on the final hole here. Lee Daeon, the winner back in 2023. She's done part 1 of the equation on this closing hole. Find the fairway. Now can she find the correct section of the green? It's got to be a precisely struck 4-iron. Hanging back, holding that club face open, trying to hit some kind of high cut. Amy just caught that a touch heavy. Don't think that's in the bunker. Might just be in that little island of grass. So I just watched the tournament leader pop in a birdie. Sung Yoo-jin roll one in to top her. Tried, just hung a little high. Good effort. Been a while since she's been in the winner's circle. Yoo-jin coming at the match play 2 years ago. Stroke play victory coming at this very golf course. Minji finds herself 4 shots back. Should just move a little from right to left. No, stay pretty straight. It's just been that kind of day for Minji Lee. It's been steady, not spectacular, and some excellent golf from Park Hye-jun has left the Australian scratching her head a little bit. Now leads by 3. Park Hye-jun. What a difference a day makes. It was miserable towards the end of day 2. In fact, it rained pretty much from sunrise to sunset here in Cheongna. Park Hye-jun looking to go wire to wire for the first time in her career. In pole position at this year's Hana Financial Group Championship, with just 1 hole left to play on Saturday, and barring something catastrophic, she's going to be sleeping on a good-sized lead going into the all-important final round tomorrow afternoon. At the risk of putting the commentator's curse on her, she's driven the ball really nicely all throughout the week, and especially on the back 9 today. It doesn't look like things are changing. Always a little uncomfortable teeing off into the setting sun, but that's another fairway found for Park. Jin just making sure that one stays on its start line, catches a piece of the fairway. Thick looking lie for Soyeon Jung. Ahead. Awkward angle, pitching over the corner of that bunker. Done the right thing, looking out towards the right hand side, leaving her an uphill par saving putt. Currently lies in solo 6, that 3 under, even par for her round. And Minji last to go. And a fantastic birdie to the back pin at the close of her round of 68 yesterday. That one gets a fortuitous kick and finds the fairway. So Daeon down at the green. Can't tell what the lie looks like from this camera tower at the back, but it's okay. She can just sort of plod this maybe 2-3 feet past the fringe. Everything should collect down towards this right pin from there. Very aggressive. Took on the aerial route and has been rewarded with a tap in par. That's a really good day at the office for Lee Daeon. No blemish coming from a very clumsy 3-putt bogey at 12. 68 for Lee Daeon. Should be at the very worst in the penultimate group tomorrow. Could find herself in the final 3-ball for the second time in 3 years. As the decent sized gallery and your final 3-ball make their way up the fairway on this 18th hole. Park Hye-jin leading by 3. And Joe, excellent round of 66. Hangs 6 under par as her 54-hole total. Daeon tapping in for her par in a round of 68. Leaves her in the clubhouse on that mark as well. Now Huang. Took a good committed swipe at that. Played it well. Even par right now, good enough for a share of 12th. She hangs on to that. She's projected to move inside the top 60 on the money list at the end of the week. Unfortunately, Hong Jong-mi is finishing up on the other side of the golf course, is propping up the pile right now. 79 today, 63rd. Only Kang Chae-yeon is faring worse at 13 over par. Stone dead last, but back to 18 we go. Soyeon Jung for a closing par and a round of even par 72. Pretty straight putt, and coming uphill can hit this a little firmer, take some of the breakout. Bit of a disappointing way to finish. Just the one birdie on her card, coming back at 8, 2 drop shots in the back 9, tot up to a 73. Now back to 9, and Lee Jae-yong trying to end her day on a positive note. Birdie indeed, and it's a 75. importance of a good finish here. 103 million Korean won made this season for Hwang Min-jung. Her 11th cut made of the year. Does have a top 10 finish, that one coming at I1 Resorts Ladies Open. Really solid weekend's work of 66.70 on that occasion, and that's accounted to 30% of her earnings this year. Currently 8th on the Rookie of the Year points race, and the top 65 keep their cards at the end of the season. So every single one of these putts crucial for a player like Hwang Min-jung. It's for par. Yeah, well done. Really rock solid up and down. The day she wanted with that 74. But still, it's been a good week for Hwang in Cheongna. So, 3 players left out on the golf course. One at 5 under, one at 6 under, and one leading the way at 9 under par. It's going to be Sung Yoo-jin first to go with a hybrid. This is really a part of the game that's been simplified significantly with technology. These hybrid clubs launch the ball so much higher than an old 2-iron or 3-iron. Particularly useful when you've got a pin like this on 18 today. Bunkered is Yoo-jin. And should point out that even if Min-ji birdies this 18th hole, she's not going to be in the final group come Championship Sunday. Yoo Hyun-jo and Lee Dae-yeon posting their 6 unders earlier than the likes of Yoo-jin or Min-ji. But she'll have the opportunity playing in the penultimate threesome tomorrow to, maybe rattle off some early birdies, try and put pressure on Park Hye-jun. She'd love to end Saturday in a similar fashion to how she finished off Friday. Contact sounded a little heavy, comes up well short of the green. And for Park Hye-jun, doesn't need to do anything special here, just look out towards that middle part of the green. Song Eun-na and An Sung-hee hit it. Took off on a pretty aggressive line. She'll come up short too. And as always the case at the Hana Financial Group Championship in Cheongna, Those grandstands at the back of the 18th hole, packed to the brim, as a really good-sized crowd has just gathered around this closing par 4 to watch these last 3 golfers on the course, perhaps try and provide a late bit of magic on what's been a fabulous Saturday afternoon of some golf. We've still got a full 18 holes to play tomorrow afternoon to crown this year's Hana Financial Group champion. Oh dear. One ball in a decent lie, one ball not buried but sort of semi-fried egged. With feeling that may be the ball of Sung Yu Jin, unfortunately. So poor break there for Sung. It should be Minji Lee first to go from the front left portion of the green. She's certainly got the easiest of the 3 up and downs in this final group. Lots of green to work with. Second half of this shot, work down a little slope. She doesn't have to fly it all the way there. Can use the topography of this green to nestle this one tight. Hits that slope there, starts to gather a little pace. Okay, pretty well done from Lee. Just found the hallmark of a great golfer and a great champion is, even when you don't have your best stuff, when the breaks aren't going your way, just have a way of sticking around and hanging in there. That's certainly what the Australian has done over the course of this back 9. And you know that she's certainly going to have a say in tomorrow's final round. Good clean lie for Park Hye-jun. Doesn't need to get too fancy with this. Did the right thing, made sure she wasn't going to get too cute and leave that short. Chance for the par saving putt coming up. Sung Yu Jin, awful break, that ball ending up in a semi-fried egg lie. Obviously not going to get any spin or height on it. So Yu Jin and her caddy were just pointing out towards the high slope, just past the hole and a little left. You can see them discussing it now. That is the only way to try and keep this ball within 20 feet. To back up all the way off the slope, you have to throw it pretty much to the precipice. She's aiming a little further right than I thought. She's trying to use the slope past the pin to the right, because that's not quite as steep as the one on the left. Fired it into the bank in front of her. I'm not sure if she meant to play that shot, but it's worked out okay for Sung Yu Jin. Giving herself a reasonable chance to save par. $279 million Korean won up top for the champion this week. I'm not going to say it's life-changing money for any one of these 3 players in the final group, all 3 established winners in their careers, but it is a nice chunk of change. And it'll be Sung Yu Jin first to putt for her par. It's a fairly straight looking putt. Works uphill. If anything, maybe wants to go a little left. We saw that from So Yeon Jung's putt from a similar location in the green. He saw us a little bit further towards the back edge, but it's a pretty decent look for Sung Yu Jin. Just got to be hit with pace. These greens have slowed up a little bit over the last hour or so. This for par. No, just didn't hit it. Did not hit it. Line looked good. And a couple of late bogeys on 16 and 18, just hurting the charge and challenge of Sung Yu Jin a touch. We'll go into the final round at 5 under. Well, it may seem like stating the bleeding obvious, but a 3-shot lead, much more comfortable than a 2-shot cushion. Especially when you've got Yu Hyun-ju and Lee Da-yeon lurking in that 6 under par mark. Bit of right to left in this for Park Hye-jun. That's a really nice confidence building way to finish. A birdie on 17, a good up and down on 18, and a 68 for Park, who will take a 3-shot lead into Championship Sunday. And for Minji Lee, you know that she's certainly not out of it. 14 professional victories, 3 of them major titles. You know, every time she heads back to South Korea for this Hana Financial Group Championship, there's always a sense of unfinished business with the close calls that she's had in 21 and 23. This for a par. Okay, just slips it in. 71 today for the Aussie. Solid day's work. She knows that Park Hye-jun is going to take some catching come Sunday afternoon, but Minji will be there, mark my words. She's a tremendous talent, a great ambassador for the game and the Hana Financial Group. She will be in the second to last group tomorrow afternoon alongside Sung Yu Jin for the second day in a row, and Park Hyun-kyung, who carded that brilliant round of 67 some 2 hours ago. Saw plenty of great shots this Saturday, and a lot of them came from this young lady, Yu Hyun-jo, who birdied 2 and 4 and continued that great momentum with a birdie at the par 3 fifth. Seventh after a really solid start with birdies at 1 and 4, a drop shot on 6, and then another bogey at 7. You just thought maybe there was a little chink in the armor of Park Hye-jun, but she quickly dispelled any further consideration of that train of thought with an excellent bounce back birdie at the par 4 8th. Meanwhile, at the turn, after going out in 33, Hyun-jo would pick up right where she left off with her 4th birdie of the day there at 10. And then playing in the final group, and a course that she's won at before, Sung Yu Jin began her day with 8 straight pars, broke that string in the best possible way, an excellent approach leading to a birdie 3 of 4. But she would gain no ground because Park Hye-jun would find another birdie to go out in 34, taking her tally back to 7 under par. And then at the 10th, would continue some fine iron play. Minji Lee in close for birdie. Park Hye-jun with a response. So both Lee and Park would birdie the 10th. Sung Yoo Jin with birdie, the 11th. Just to keep things interesting. That took her within 2 shots of the lead. Then on the back 9, Lee Daeon was starting to make a bit of a move. Went out in 2 under par 34. Poor 3-putt bogey at the 12th. And then a resilient bounce back, a nice wedge shot. That took her back to where she began the back 9. And then she would add another there at the par 3 14th. While all that was happening, Sung Yoo Jin made it 2 birdies in a 3-hole stretch. 3 and 6. And that excellent downhill curler taking her to within 1 of Park Hye-jun. On 16, Hyun Jo let a golden opportunity slip away on 15. Could find another birdie there at the par 3. Back on 15, Daeon was continuing her great run. Nicely controlled spinny wedge shot, setting up a 3rd birdie in a row to take the 2023 Hana Financial Group Championship winner up to 6 under par, where she would end her day. Hye-jun had to remain very patient, stringing off par since her birdie at 10. She would collect another there on 17. Her advantage to 3 shots. And then on the closing hole, bunkered with her 2nd. Nice shot out to here. And a confidently stroked in par putt for a round of 68. And a 3-shot cushion as she looks to go wire to wire this week in Cheongna. Can anyone catch Park Hye-jun? Well, it's a pretty compelling leaderboard. Hyun-jo, Daeon, Min-ji, Soo-jin and Hyun-kyung all trying to keep things interesting, but it's Park in pole position with 1 round to go here in the 7th Hana Financial Group Championship. Looking forward to the climax of the 7th edition of this tournament tomorrow afternoon. Certainly hope you can join us then. Bye-bye for now.